Sunday morning is a wonderful time for a lot of people in Trinidad and Tobago. Some of them take it to go and play some football, others go play cricket, others head to church, others just get up and start preparing Sunday lunch. Others probably head out to a nice little cruise, like for example that day, flagship Point Loma, heading out for a time of revelry on the water. And others, like myself, want to check this one out. Yeah, we're heading down to Nelson Island today. The Tubal Uriah Butler, the Nelson Island experience. And we're waiting for the water taxi to come up here. We're here at the water taxi terminal in Port of Spain, and looking forward to heading down to Nelson Island. I've never gone there. This is being put on by the Ministry of National Diversity and Social Integration, and it's a tour that helps you to learn more about the historical places in Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm very excited about today. I have no idea what to expect. I don't even know what questions to ask. I don't even know where we should go and jump off. I don't know what we should steal. I just have no idea about anything. So this is going to be as a brand new experience for both of us, for all of us, as we take this one. So come along with me and let's see what's going to happen. Now, like I said, we're here at the water taxi terminal, and right across there is the breakfast shed. And I've been advised that if you're going on a trip like this, make sure that you have something to eat, because the trip gets going. We have to be here for about 11:30. The water taxi is going to get here, and then we're going to be out for like about a few hours. Well, probably getting back by about 3 o'clock. So I'm going to try to get some grub and some more grub, because grub for now and then grub for later, to make sure that when I'm on the water I feel good. All right, so off for food. All right, well, it's been a while since I've been to the breakfast shed. I was here many years ago when it was the old structure, and had some food there. The food was good. Then they rebuilt the place, and I have not been here since. I came here once when it was closed. That's in the night time, just to eat some jerk chicken from the promenade. But I just came down here and ate that. But in terms of experiencing what the breakfast shed has, I have not since done that. So it's been quite some time. So I'm very excited to go around. Just from my early perusals, it's for me, it's like being a kid in a candy shop. For example, like I said, I'm supposed to buy stuff to go, right? So, I mean, jerk chicken. Look at that. Oh, looks so well seasoned and so very well grilled, right? This is, I take it this is patties. Jamaican patties. That sounds very breakfastish. Should try that. All right. So this is by this lady's place. See what here? Okay. This looks very breakfasty. Oh my gosh. More Jamaican stuff here. You have the Jamaican beans and rice. What is that? Okay. All right. Wow. This is looking good. Okay. So that's a definite possibility, right? As you take a walk around, and now this here is a real institution of Port of Spain, the breakfast shed. People just know where the breakfast shed is. People come here, they set themselves up, prepare their meals, and people come by when they come off the water taxi or when they're going for trips or cruises like one we just saw there. They get their food, and it's like home cooked food. This here looks, oh gosh. Now Sunday food you expect to get a lot on, of course. On a Sunday you have your cuckoo, your callaloo. Good morning, good morning. All right, and your provision. Yeah, that's supposed to give you a serious itis later on. And I don't want to fall asleep on the trip, you see, that's the thing. But I'm greedy, and that's the other thing. So we have to put those two things and see which one wins out. Oh, mountains of food. Check those vegetables. I just want to eat like all. Oh my gosh, this is... Okay, I'm officially confused. I have no idea what it is I'm actually going to get. Might just go and get some KFC. Yeah, right. No, not today. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna go back by the jerk lady there. Not the lady who's a jerk. There's none of that. Forget that. Beep, got that. I'm gonna go back by the lady who's selling jerk, and probably get myself a Jamaican patty as well. All right. So there you have it. A little quick run through of breakfast shed. You should come and try it sometime. Try the cuisine. All right, the moment is almost here. It's on time. It's 11:14, well 11:15 right now. In Port of Spain, they push off from here. It's supposed to be from 11:30, so they're right there, prompt, early even. And I'm getting more excited. The water taxis behind me here, so we're gonna be heading down to Nelson Island. I'm so happy I made up a song. We're going off to Nelson Island and they don't want nobody wilding up the place. No wilding up the place. All right, well, we just docked here at Nelson Island. The trip was pretty quick, zippy little ride you get from that water taxi, about 10 minutes. Inside didn't have any AC though, and we were sitting inside it broiling for like about half an hour, and they were about 15 minutes while they were trying to, yeah, 50, it just felt like half an hour, just saying. I wasn't sleeping. I listened to everything the entire way, right? I wasn't sleeping at all. I don't recollect that I was sleeping, but anyway. We're here. The program is set to be a packed one with performances and guided tours and a few different buildings to check out and visit. But let's see if we can go off the beaten path a bit. I hear some drums. Those drums. They're saying, Justin. We're going to see what they're all about. So let's take a walk onto Nelson Island, shall we? Alright, so there's music there in the background. I'm feeling the groove. And just because I came on a ship there, I don't know, I'm feeling a song coming on. See how it goes. Never, wherever you are, I will always be here for you. I don't know, that's in the lyrics. Once more, you open the door. And you're here in my heart, and my heart will go on and on. Key change. Never, wherever you are, I will always be here for you. Still not sure if that's the lyrics. Once more, you open that door, and you're here in my heart, and my heart will go on and on. All right. I see some very interesting places to that side of it. I don't know where my bear is. I don't know where north, south, east, and west is. I think that's north. But we're gonna check it out. So we have a rhythm section here apparently, and we're gonna get a performance from them a little bit later on. I saw some dancers about as well. So it looks going to be quite interesting. Nelson Island on a Sunday morning. All right, we're here at on Nelson Island, a particular part where it's the gun placement area, right? Now, you know, if you just get a shot of this here, you know, these here are the remains of the foundation of what used to be a placement area used for a gun, big gun, that was installed on Nelson Island during the First World War, right? You know, what was, from my research, convicts from Carrera Island. Well, they were tasked with the construction of the foundation and the transportation of the gun, which was of Japanese manufacture, as far as I remember. The gun remained there until the start of the Second World War, hidden with a sheet of galvanized and the gun, however, never had to be utilized. Oh, calm now, man. You keep setting me up there. Please. Yeah, so I'm kind of dripping sweat right now. Yeah, I think that's as much hiking as we do for today. The place is very well laid out. Some very well paved paths. And like I said, later on we're gonna get the tour, but still gonna go down to the south side of the island and see what other places that they don't want you to go, we will go. But you're seeing some of the gun bunker and the other gun place. So we're gonna head down to the south side of the island and see if there are any other places that you're not supposed to go. Yeah, we're gonna try that. The walkway around the island is very well paved, so even if you're not very much of a hiking person, you know, you should have, you should be able to cover the island in about 10 minutes. We went from one end of the island to the other end. I mean, completely cross country in like about 10 minutes, so 5 minutes. Well, you're walking kind of slow, but we're gonna continue the tour, see what else is there. Well, here on Nelson Island, there's a lot of history in Nelson Island, including the imprisonment of Tubal Uriah Buzz Butler from 1939 to 1945. Jews were also held there. You're going to see another one of the, if you come down on Nelson Island, you'll see another one of the signs that give you a little bit of the history of that. I told you who built it, the King's Slaves, right? That's also something that I didn't know. Well, there's a lot of stuff I didn't know about here, but the King's Slaves, and they say that those were the ones who were used to build the oldest structure here on Nelson Island, and not just on Nelson Island, sorry, the oldest structure in Trinidad and Tobago was actually in Nelson Island here. So there's so much history down here. If you come down, you get a really nice layout of all that took place, and nice encapsulated form. So I'm learning quite a lot. Now, here's the thing that I found very concerning about this. It says that during the Second World War, refugee Jews who had fled persecution in Europe were arrested and sent to Nelson Island. You can imagine that you flee complete obliteration and annihilation in your own homeland, come around and then you realize, oh man, we get arrested again and dumped on Nelson Island. I mean, it was a tough time for the Jews, and Nelson Island bears at least some witness to what they had to go through. The oldest constructed building was constructed in 1802. The oldest constructed building in Trinidad and Tobago, constructed in 1802 by guys who were known as the King's Slaves, enslaved Africans. And, well, there's not much more to say, eh? Butler in the late 30s and 40s, and George Weeks in the 70s. Yeah, it has been a place with some high-profile names, and both these guys eventually were awarded the highest honor in Trinidad and Tobago, the Trinity Cross back then, now called the Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. So the place has held some level of caliber in terms of the men that have passed through here. Wow, I'm right here now. One of the other stories about Nelson Island is that it's also a great place where you could stand up and watch the party boat passing. Yes, this will be our history. This will be our legacy in years to come. Nelson Island, a place from which you can see the Harbour Master cruises. And we're here at the site of the house that was reconstructed. This is the house that Uriah Buzz Butler was kept in when he was imprisoned here on Nelson Island. So we're going to take a little walk through of the mansion. No, okay, the cottage. Let's see what it looks like. Hey, look who's here. This is... Maybe he can give us a little bit more detail into here. So let me storm somebody's house. All right, so Clive Nunez is actually here, and this is at the Butler's house, and he is Butler's cottage. Yeah, right. And Clive Nunez is with the trust. Can you give us a little bit more information about what you do?
No, well, you know, the trust is about ensuring that the history of Trinidad and Tobago, right, be put in its proper perspective. Because the history that you have in the West Indies and in other former colonies, whether of France, Britain, Portugal, whoever, Spain, right? The history is written from their viewpoint.
And there's a different history we need to know about.
Of course, which is the truth.
Truth history.
Right, in terms of documentation, in terms of artifacts.
And in your opinion, if somebody wanted to go and find that true history, where would you send them?
Well, you have the National Archives that have a lot of stuff.
Let's take a quick run through. Let's take a quick run through. All right. So this is his place here.
Right. So that these are some of the utensils. You have the goblet. You have the tiara. Right.
He was a Baptist preacher. Yes.
Right. And what you will notice there, which I tell people from time, there's a lot of similarity between the Baptist religion and the Hindu, as you can see, you know. And the
flowers and the ornaments and those things.
Yeah, well, the tiara, which is that brass receptacle there, and the lota, right? So that there's a lot, in a lot of Baptists, right? You would see jandies, right? The flags may be different, but so that there's a lot of similarity in terms of the flowers and, you know. And
now this
Butler was always about that unification of the Indians and the Africans.
This place here was his what? This was like his shrine, is his hall area?
Yeah, no, well, this was his cottage, right? It's not, I mean, this is a more modern, you know, that you're still trying to research to get, you know, to bring this as close as possible to his cottage.
All right. But we're going to take a small walk through here because I don't think they had electricity back then, so I understand that. So here would have probably been. So here.
This is the area where Butler, you know, and people must understand Butler was in the forefront. He was calling. He had a vision of independence, right? 27 years before the adult franchise in 1946, Butler was talking about home rule. Home rule, which is equivalent to independence, so that you may see an article somewhere, Butler, the true father of the nation. So long before the 50s, right? Butler, exactly, right? He went up to England on 2 occasions in terms of for home rule. In point of fact, Butler, a lot of people don't know, his party had won 10 seats in the 1950 election, right? Which was the majority than the other party. But they denied him that. They denied him forming the government, and they utilized, you know, the governor and the executive council and how it was comprised, you know, and to deny him. And he became very frustrated, and he went up to Britain, good, and continued to pursue the question of home rule.
More bass and instrumentals.
Here, down here, on this big rock, there's an inscription here. That's not an FF or E. That looks like an F. F.L. Celestin. Right? December 30th, 1939. This here is one of the guys who was in charge of guarding Butler. So he was one of the soldiers back then, making sure that Butler didn't make a run for it. A lot of people came on the boat with us today to experience Nelson Island and to get a lot of the history about it. People, some of them just came to like suck mango. Standing here on the porch of Butler's Cottage, you can see a lot of the other islands that are around there. That one there is called the Rock Island. Yeah, that's Rock Island. Behind Rock Island, what you see further down there, that's Carrera. And there are two others across on this side here, right across there. When I was getting my information about Nelson Island, the very first thing that was said about it was that it was the landing point for the indentured laborers who came in. And this place that you see behind me, the Marion Hospital, this is where they cared for the indentured workers who came in from the long journey, not feeling really well. So there you have it, the Marion Hospital, which is now being used as a nice little place for people to come and sit down and chill out and take in just the fresh air that's coming in from the sea breeze. Now, coming down on this side, here you get the big cistern tanks, right? Cisterns, where they would collect the water at the top and use that for the various duties here on the island. And this, this what I think is very interesting. You come down this way, right? Coming down this way, there's a little place that's cordoned off. And I love cordoning off because it means that you could go through the cordon or around the cordon area. Yeah, I know you're going from there, see. All right. And then here now looks like there was a structure here before. Don't know if it was like a pier or if it was, well, not a pier, but a docking area, or if it was a previous building or something. But it looks nice and the water looks very refreshing and inviting, especially after today being so humid and muggy. But from here you get a good little view of that little bad boy over there. Yep, that's what Clive Nunez told us about the toilet on the sea. The toilet on the sea. Now, I can't really speak to the sanitary issues that might come with such a structure. I don't know how well, insulated it is from actually getting into the water, because what Mr. Nunez said was that they used to bathe on that side of the island, the other side of the island. But if you're dumping here, I'm going to bathe in there. I don't know. But I can tell you this. If you were sitting there and, you're facing out into the water there, it seems like if that would be one epic little time that you could have there. In fact, right now, I wouldn't mind if the jerk chicken I ate earlier on started to act up, All right, so cisterns to the north of the island, Butler's Cottage to the south of the island, right smack dab in the middle. Here it's the holding area, the holding bay, and you're gonna get to see some of the cells. So let's take a walk through, shall we? All right, now remember I said that one of the oldest structures on the island, not just one of the oldest structures on the island, but one of the oldest structures in Trinidad and Tobago, the oldest structure in Trinidad and Tobago, exists right here on Nelson Island. This building here, it's been refurbished, built in 1802, the first concreted structure in Trinidad and Tobago, right here, refurbished. And if you want a crash course in terms of the timeline or the history of Nelson Island and some of the very prominent events and the people who are housed here and various things like that, in this building has like a crash course of the history. So let's go and take a little check out of it. Here's something interesting, and actually want to thank my cameraman for this. He said, why is it called Nelson Island? And that was a good question, and we actually got somebody to give us a bit of a history about it. It was actually called Stevenson Island first, way back. Don't have all the details, but it was called Stevenson Island way back. Then they leased the islands to prominent people in the area or in Trinidad and Tobago at that time. This island was leased to a Dr. Thomas Neilson, Neilson. When he died, according to the story, you know how Trinis are. They just, yeah, I Nelson Island, I Nelson Island, I Nelson. Well, let's just put it this way. A lot of learning took place today. Learned a lot about the place, the people, the era, and so much of what makes Nelson Island, or should we say Neilson Island. It was enjoyable, and I did have a time hiking into the places that you're not supposed to go to. But I also had a time in the butler's cottage. Anyway, we're going to be taking our leave now, jumping back onto the water taxi to head back to the mainland, and I do hope that you enjoyed the trip as much as I enjoyed it, and even if you never come down to Nelson Island, hopefully you would have seen enough of it to know about its history. But if you do come down, hey, you have a lot to look forward to.
More beats and instrumentals. Check out chinchillamusic.net.
Well, back here on the mainland after an exciting time at Nelson Island, and now, well, we got back here like about, 3:45. So that means I have an hour and 15 minutes to go and get ready and head off to MC a graduation event. So the fun never stops, yeah. Hope you enjoyed this edition of Just in Time. Next week, come back for more. All right, when I was doing getting my people mostly know, that's you what I say. All right, one of the most known reasons or the blessing makes me happy, watch my face. So happy, watch my face. I'm innocent, I'm telling you. I am innocent. Look for the one-armed man. We're here at the like I said before, the water taxi terminal, and the breakfast shed is like so riddled with. Okay. I hope. Come down here, the working magic. All right.